Hello again, welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to FTB Interactions. So we are now living the good life, I have to say. I spent a little bit of time between episodes. You'll see that there are a few additional machines. I made another advanced assembling machine, and then I made an additional advanced extruder, and then moved our other advanced extruder over to here. Also, I removed one of our basic assembling machines and replaced it with a basic polarizer. This is so that we could automate some things just a bit easier. I was originally thinking about switching it for a bending machine, but then I was like, I really need a polarizer. So that's pretty much got the machines that are going to be in this little section done. We've pretty much got all those laid out. And, oh, one thing I did not do. I haven't ran, I've ran a few things through this, but I haven't ran, everything yet. Like this is going to be for something that we're going to be working on today. This I haven't ran yet. The polarizer, yeah, I've ran that one. So if it opens up whenever you right click, it means it's already right. But let's go ahead and take a look in here. If we look in just the terminal itself, look at that. There's a lot of things. Now, a lot of this stuff is craft, and we don't actually have any in stock. If we pull up our interface terminal, Advanced Alloy Smelter still has nothing, but you can see I added recipes for ME glass cable. I also added recipes for advanced circuit parts and integrated processors. These are actually ran through this other advanced assembling machine that has the soldering alloy in there. It's not being automatically supplied yet. Like I said, we'll be automating fluids more in depth, or actually starting to automate fluids soon, but right now it's just manual feel for all of this stuff. So and then if we scroll on down, the advanced cutting machine, I taught it how to make skystone plates. The extruder that has the gears knows how to make aluminum gears and steel gears. Alloy smelter, I taught it how to make, I think I'd already taught it to make the soldering alloy, but I did teach it to make brass ingots. This assembler that has the glass, I taught it how to make quartz glass and quartz fiber, because I actually ran out of quartz glass between episodes making patterns. I made a lot of patterns. And then I taught this assembler to make the MV machine casing. Now this requires it to keep, no, it's not that one, it's this one. It needs a programmed circuit with configuration 8. It does not interfere with the small coil recipe, so I have that in there, so both of those are running through this assembling machine. We'll have a lot of assemblers as time goes on. Our bending machine now knows how to make plates in aluminum, gallium, iron, copper, gold, steel, tin, and stainless steel. The lathe knows how to make steel rods, iron rods, aluminum rods, stainless steel rods, nether quartz rods. And then the polarizer knows how to make magnetic steel rods and magnetic iron rods. The wire mill, I taught it, in addition to the ones we had taught it before, I taught it tin wire and gold wire. And then down here, the molecular assemblers, I did set up one more interface, plug that up, and I've taught this to make blank patterns, MV machine hulls, 2x copper wire, 4x copper wire, LV electric, or LV, MV, HV motors, and then LV, MV, HV pistons. And then I taught it how to make basic diesel generators and advanced diesel generators. So that stuff can be ordered at the click of a button. And actually, if we wanted to, because we're going to be moving into diesel power, right? Probably next episode, I'm thinking. We're going to start working on that. And I was doing some thinking, and I have decided that we're going to go with seed oil instead of fish oil after a bit of testing, because it's, let's see, it's more power friendly. You don't use nearly as much power for processing speed wise going with the seed oil. It's also faster because the fluid extractor from thermal expansion can get just crazy fast to where it's processing a seed every tick, and nothing really competes with that at all. It's also more resource friendly. It's more server friendly. It's just better all around. Originally, I was really wanting to go with fish oil because it's a little bit more of an interesting setup. We will set up something with fish oil later on. But for our actual power needs, we're going to go with seed oil. It's just better. In every case I could see, it was just better. But yeah, so we could actually click here and probably order an advanced diesel generator. Oh, I'm missing the small aluminum gears. Those, right now I have to manually craft the small gears for the pistons. But once we get another extruder set up, we'll be able to automate those. That's the only thing that we wouldn't be able to create. So, and out of curiosity, how many? 913 bytes. Okay. So all of our CPUs have like 4,000 bytes. So, and we have 3 of them. Those did finish up, by the way. So you can see there's one there, there's one over there. And right now I just have the one molecular assembler. There we go. The one molecular assembler, and then I have 2 interfaces that are running off of that. So, and the other CPU is back there behind the controller right now. I didn't quite get all this stuff moved out, but that's okay. That's okay. One step at a time. What I really need to get right now is dense cable. I think either that, there's a couple options really that we could do as a temporary thing. Because I've got a little bit of dense cable, but I don't think I have enough for what I want to do. So I'm kind of thinking we're going to move this over and actually set it up in the middle of this so we could have another, well, this is only 7 watts, so we could have another 14 machines over here that are running off of that controller for now until we get cables automated, because I really don't want to have to craft those right now. The covered cables, which take the polytetrafluoroethylene, that's really the worst part. The rest of this, I haven't automated fluix dust yet. That's only because we don't have a mixer set up yet. We'll get that before too long, but so what I might do, how much, I have 8 dense cable, and I basically have to take it about 8 blocks, ideally, and I have to get it through here, which I could do that, I guess, but yeah, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to shift some of this over, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab one of these dense cables, and we're just going to set it up like right there. Oh yeah, I never plugged up, I haven't actually ordered anything through the laser engraver yet, and I never plugged that up with fluix cable. So let me grab that, and I guess I should probably go ahead and do this. We're going to move this stuff around, and then we're going to automate a couple additional machines real quick. I believe we're going to spend one more episode it's almost going to be kind of miscellaneous automation, just so we do a little bit more automation on camera, so it's not like, okay, well, that's all we're going to do with automation. I mean, we'll still, that's going to be the majority of the package, just automating all the things as we go moving forward. But like I said, we're kind of on easy street now, where things are about to get a whole lot easier for us, because we have the AE2 system that we need to really get started. And then once we hit power, which will be the next thing, and we'll have a lot of the power stuff automated. Like you saw, I was already automating 4 of the diesel generators, so we can start working on that stuff next episode. I mean, there's a whole lot more to it than diesel generators. Spectre coils being one of the big things. That's one thing we're going to be doing in the upcoming episode is, in the next episode, is we're going to be upgrading the tree farm. So we're going to have more to it. It's going to be farming. Let me actually grab this out, and we're going to grab this and that, all of those, and I'm going to have to reroute my steam power, which is fine. Oh, I'm actually out of, yeah, I'm like way out of inventory space right now. Okay, well, let's go ahead and set up, we're going to have our controller setting there. And then we're going to bring out cables like this. And this is all temporary, so, just a heads up there. And then we're going to have our storage bus setting there. And then let me go ahead and set up these interfaces. So we'll have interface there, and then I'm going to go ahead and put the patterns in. I may have to organize these a little bit better in a minute. Got a little bit of space now. And then let me go ahead and grab this and the advanced steam turbine. And molecular assembler goes there. We'll go ahead and bring our glass cable up. That should be 1, 2, 3 channels. And then we'll have our crafter and crafter like that. Just for right now. Just so we can kind of spread out and get out of that cramped in area. And so there's that. And then we can kind of access everything a little bit easier. And then we'll have our terminals. Crafting terminal. Pattern terminal. And for right now we'll have interface terminal right there. Okay. And then molecular assembler needs its storage component. So there we go. And then we're going to need our advanced steam turbine and CEU combo. So I'll just have the steam turbine setting there, the CEU setting, well, let me rotate it real quick. And let me grab one more of these because I'm going to need them. Plug that up, and then we'll have our energetic infuser just setting, say, right there. So we'll have access to it. Okay, and now all I have to do is just run the steam over. Advanced mechanical pipes. And this goes there. That goes there. And then, of course, eventually, well, in a few episodes, this is going to be, instead of carrying steam, this line is going to be carrying the biodiesel that we're going to be making. So I'll go ahead and just bring that over to there. I'm actually out of those. I'm going to have to make some more advanced mechanical pipes. I might look into automating that here soon. And something fun, I spent a little bit of time, basically before I logged off, and I did work on TPS, so 19.91. It's a whole lot better. Oh, it's not going to hit 20. It's close. I'm going to work on it some more, and yeah, there's 20. But I should be able to get it up to like a solid 20 TPS. I was working on TPS between episodes, so. But before I went to sleep, after recording last episode, I started running some rose gold. You'll notice it's still running. It's been running for a while. Not quite a day, but probably maybe 18 hours or something like that. But we have rose gold. We have a lot of rose gold because this stuff takes so long to craft. I was like, well, I'm going to go ahead and just craft up a bunch of it, and that way we've got it. And I also got pure surface quartz crystals. Oh yeah, I forgot to add more glowstone to that for those other seeds. That's fine. And I went and farmed up glowstone in the nether, which took me all of maybe 5 minutes to mine up. Well, I had like 7 stacks, but I've used a bit of it, so. Okay, so we'll just dump all of that into there. And then, of course, that Certus, I made a bunch of that because I've been making recipes. I now have 90 of that in there, so. Okay, so we got all that stuff ran over, and so then what we can do is we can bring out just another dense cable that comes out there, and this one is going to split up, down, and then we can start plugging up more machines over here and basically just do the same thing. This one is only going to use 14 channels instead of 16 like over here, because this is using 8 on the top, 8 on the bottom. We're just going to be using 7 because it's only 7 wide, so 7 on the top, 7 on the bottom. So let's go ahead and grab, I guess we'll grab our mixer. You know, technically, I could move all the recipes over to this one that has the glass. I might do that, actually. Oh, and I don't think I have any. I may have to, let me see. Yeah, I'm out of interfaces. So I'm going to have to make some more interfaces real quick, which really isn't too difficult. I think we've got most everything. The only thing I'm going to have to make is the conversion monitor. Tell you what, I'm just going to make a stack of redstone torches. These interfaces are actually, at this point, they're really cheap, because that energized polylattice crystal, I did farm up a couple nether stars between... honestly, we're at the point where this stuff, super cheap. So there's level emitters. And then I need the illuminated panels. And we'll go ahead and get a few storage monitors. And then we'll get our... oh, let me fix this. I had it to number of items, and I had it to GAI synchronized standard keep. Okay, so... okay, I've got enough for one interface. And what was it to make the cores, the Restonia, and then the Palace? Okay. Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do for starters. We are going to pop over to here. This does not have polyethylene. Let me go grab some of that. And I'm just going to steal it from here. And we're going to do something in just a second, which I think is going to work out nicely. I'm actually going to move some recipes around, and we're going to automate something here in just a second. One of our fluids, basically, in a sense. So let's throw that stuff in there. Get that running, making us another interface. And what we are going to do, I don't know if I want to go ahead and make, because I really need maybe a couple more interfaces, but I'm totally out of formation cores and annihilation cores at this point. But then again, if we did the basic way to get demon wheel crystals, it wouldn't be expensive at all. That might be worth doing. We might do that this episode, because I'm going to need these. I'm going to need these in a bad sort of way. So let's go ahead and first and foremost, let's see. Let's hop into our interface terminal and let's look at our assembling machines. And I want to take everything from here. It's got the MV machine casings and the small coils. I want to take this stuff out and I want to dump it into this assembler, because these actually don't require any liquid, so they can be ran alongside this glass and it's not going to cause any issue. And we're actually going to take this program circuit out of there and dump it into there. And what we're going to do is we're going to use that assembler that's there, and we are going to use that for rubber processing. So let me grab this portable tank. I made a bit of this because we had a lot of rubber. So I did make, back whenever I broke the tanks, it was, a few days ago. But I made 2 hardened portable tanks to store all that rubber. So, but let's go ahead and just dump that into there. That's going to free up a tank, which is always nice. And actually this tank, I am going to, or maybe not this one, maybe, well, let me just grab this one and put that back. I want that water for the mixer here in just a second. Which actually this interface should be done. It is. Let's go ahead and set this to the block form. And we're going to put it right there. And we're going to put our mixer right there. And then this mixer is going to have water. Okay. Now I've still got to run conduits and the tin cable, which I've got the tin cable that we need. And I'm just going to run this up. Like that. I should have grabbed a few more pieces, but that's fine. Run that up along through there, and I believe I've got a turbine in here, right? Because this was from an old, well, it was from the old CEU setup, actually. And so let me just put this setting right there, and that's going to give this power. Awesome. And then what we can do is we can just really, really quickly automate fluix. Still going to have to put the stuff in there for it, but if I have nether quartz, redstone, and certus quartz, we can have fluix. So that makes you 2. And then let's go ahead and teach you how to crush the fluix. And that's actually going to be the first recipe for our macerator. So then advanced macerator, that's how you make fluix dust. And then the mixer, that's how you make fluix crystals. Awesome. So that stuff's in there now. As per usual, I'll still have to supply the materials, but that's no biggie. Okay. So now what I want to do, the next thing that I want to do is I want to take a couple machines out of here. I want to grab this fluid solidifier, which I'm going to have to make another one of those, and we'll set it up maybe for automation, because I'm going to need to make polyethylene sheets still if I'm making circuits, which I will be in the coming episodes. So I'll definitely need to get that moved over. But I need that, and then also I need what exactly was it all to make rubber? Okay, this was all in the chemical reactor. So we're going to grab this, and I could actually move some of these machines. Let me do that real quick. Okay, so we got those two machines, and I'm going to need, let's see, am I really using this stuff all that much? I'm going to say no. I mean, I've got a macerator. The fluid extractor I use, but I can always move it over if I need to. The compressor I haven't used in a while. All this tin cable can go. I am going to hold on to one piece of this. And what we're going to do, we're going to pull off this steam turbine. Well, actually, I've still got one plugged up there, so yeah, that's fine. I only need one steam turbine for this. And let me get a GPS marker out of here. And we're going to set up something that's going to remain probably running off of our steam system, because it's actually not going to pull very much power at all. And let me get some cobblestone and some fluid conduits. And then also let me grab one other thing here. And right now it's actually going to have to be a little bit manual, because I'm not automatically sending sulfur over, but we will, you know, it's something that we'll add, but this is basically just to make life pretty easy for us. So what we're going to do, let's actually break all this open right here. I mean, technically I could just run this steam down, but since I'm going to change that over, this isn't going to draw very much power at all, so I think leaving it on the steam line would be alright to do. And actually throw that away. Let me grab this tank. This is the one that's filled up with resin, 80,000 resin in there. And let me pull off some of this. I'll basically pull it down to right there. So the resin tank's going to sit right there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have a conduit that comes out of the top. And we're going to set this to extract is always active. And then it's going to pump into a chemical reactor. And this is where, later on, this is where our sulfur is going to come in at. And I'll probably end up sticking some kind of a little access elevator down to here. Maybe. If I don't just forget about it being down here, especially once we plug up the sulfur. So our chemical reactor is going to sit there. It's going to start filling up with resin. And then we're going to have a steam turbine that sits, and of course this is the resin that we set up a while ago outside there. So chemical reactor sitting there. It's going to feed over. Let's actually just go ahead and break this down real quick. We're just going to get the 1x10 cables. And actually, I don't think this is going to take very much power. It's chemical reactor. That's 16 EU per tick. And then this is 8 EU per tick. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to pump over. And I'm actually going to set this up with, well, no, I'll tell you what. I'm going to take, I've actually already got rubber up there, so we're going to take this tank. We're going to set this up. We'll put a conduit there. Portable tank setting right there. And so this will be able to, what was that? No. Don't want to throw my tank down. We'll set this to extract always active, so it can pull out the rubber and it can feed it into this tank that's sitting right here. And then we're going to have a fluid solidifier that sits right here. And then what we'll do is we'll have this rubber get sent up to making the, basically up to the machine that makes the wires, or the machines long term. There'll be more than one, I'm sure. But for right now, it'll be sent to here. And honestly, I'll probably just have it set up through one of those fluid nodes. I might actually set that up here in just a second, in fact. And then we're going to have a steam turbine that sets, well, I'll tell you what, the loss on this is only 1. Yeah, we'll just set this up like there. And then we'll have the 10 cables run out like that. That'll be perfectly fine. And then our GPS marker, we'll go ahead and shift click and then pop over here and drop it in to this one back here. Should maybe name those in the anvil, but that'll never need more steam than that, so that's going to be fine. And this all has power. Awesome. And this is actually probably a better idea anyways. Let's pull all this stuff up. We're going to set up the fluid solidifier actually right next to this chemical reactor. And we're going to have the pipes pump out there so that you can extract always active. And then we'll set the tank setting right there. And then let me go grab the crescent. I've actually got it right here. Hit that. Boom, it's going to start dumping lots of rubber into there. And there we go. It's going to keep 64 buckets worth of rubber in there, but that's fine. I mean, I could put some kind of logistical system to make sure that, you know, it only keeps, say, 10, you know, something like blood magic nodes or something like that, but it just doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter to us. So let's go ahead and grab ourselves some sulfur. And let me grab, let's see, I'm going to need 4 steel plates. And I want to get an ingot mold. And then we're going to take this sulfur, we're going to toss it into there so it can start running and making that rubber for us. And basically stockpiling a lot of it. Of course, this makes a lot of rubber. When it runs through the chemical reactor and it makes that rubber, it's making 1,296 millibuckets. So that's going to go pretty far. And then we'll dump in our ingot mold into here, and that way it can start producing us rubber bars. And right now I'm just going to leave these in here, and I can pop down here if I need them. But later on we'll keep so much in the system, I think is what we'll do. Either that or I'll just put a storage bus on the side of this fluid solidifier, and it can pull rubber bars as needed from this. So, but these rubber bars, the reason I'm making these is because that's how we're going to make, that's what that extruder up there is for. Because we can make rubber rings. You know, before we used to make these with a knife and rubber sheets and cut them. No, we've got extruders now. We're going to make these 4 at a time per ingot. And that's why I made that extruder with the ring shape. So let's go ahead and grab this. And I'm just going to throw these in the system for right now. And do I have patterns? I have 1. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to automate rubber rings through the extruder. And we'll just shift click that out of there. We don't want that. So boom, there we go. That's how you make rubber rings. And then we're going to add this to the extruder. Awesome. And I haven't looked to see what else this can actually make. Oh, just all the metal rings. So we use the red alloy ones a lot, so I should probably automate those. I'm assuming that we can make the red alloy ones to this. Like for the servos. Oh, okay, it's iron rings, red alloy. Okay, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and, well, I don't have any more patterns. Let me order some more. And by the way, whenever I set this recipe up, I made sure that it didn't have ore dictionary because I want it to only run pure Certus quartz. I don't want it to run our charged, like expensive quartz, right? So it only runs pure Certus. Now technically it can also run Certus quartz, but I didn't allow that either. The reason being pure Certus, of course, makes our quartz go further, and all it costs is glowstone, sand. Sand, of course, we get from Project E, and then glowstone is... glowstone might as well be free because you pop around the nether and you vein mine and you have like 7-8 stacks and, you know, without even trying. So we'll go ahead and order 10 more of those patterns though. Get those ordered. And the reason I wanted rubber rings automated so bad is because now that we have rubber rings automated, I've kind of been wanting to go through and You saw that I automated motors and I kind of automated pistons. I also would like to automate pumps, conveyor modules, and robot arms. Now, conveyor modules take rubber sheets. Now we can make rubber sheets through the, well, I think we can do it through this. Yeah, if we can press it, we make the rubber block, then we can do it that way. I think is what we'll do. Because I don't want to set up another fluid solidifier just to, and then have to pump the liquid out. Because honestly, most things you should be able to make, it seems like, just using the bars and not necessarily using the fluid for anything else. If I recall. There might be some things that come up. But I want to get the conveyor modules automated, which they're really nothing more than motors and some easy cables and then a bunch of rubber. Oh, we can actually make them this way though too. So yeah, we'll do that method for the conveyor modules. But also the robot arms, that's just that stuff. We could automate this at this point. I mean, I still have to make this. I have to make another extruder for the gears, because I'm not going to do the recipes with the tools. I want to do that right there with the small gear. I mean, I guess there's the forge hammer method. But then it's another processing step because I have to make the plate and then the gear instead of just doing this. It's actually a whole lot less total power. 3 seconds. 2 seconds. 3 seconds. You know, it's actually better to use the forge hammer than the extruder to make the small gears. Yeah, I guess we're going to go with the forge hammer then. Because it's cheaper on power and it's shorter duration to do that than the 6 seconds through the extruder. So yeah, we'll do that then. But then the pumps require rubber rings, so we're going to need those, and then we're going to need to teach it to make steel pipes. We need another extruder there to make the pipes. That's no biggie because I don't really want to do the tools. So but yeah, I'm kind of just working my way up to getting these automated. And once you get one of them automated, it's no different. Like whenever you're going through and doing the motors, you change out the steel, you add one more layer to the copper wires, you add gold cable, and the steel rods are pretty much unanimous across all of the motors, except for the LV one. I used iron because iron's cheaper, but you can do iron or steel there. But I would probably say do the iron method. So now we can order rubber rings. So it's really just a hop, skip, and a jump, and a bunch of patterns to getting the other component, the key component parts, you know. We'll have those automated easy enough now. So I've just got to set up a couple machines and get some more interfaces. So, and that's kicking away, making rubber for us. This is just pretty much going to be running all the time until the rubber's backed up. So, and we should have plenty of resin available, and then the resin backs up, and yeah. And honestly, I think those hardened tanks will be enough, like even long term. But if we need to make bigger storage, we just make another upgrade for it or enchant it with holding, and there we go, we're good. So, okay, so now if we want to automate cables, like I use a lot of, well, let me just look up. I use a lot of copper cables. I have a lot, you know, made up, but if I want to make more once I run out, I can just set this recipe here, turn that off, and there we go, encode that. And then I'm going to need a circuit, and I believe, if I recall, it has to be set to 24. I believe it is. Yeah, it needs to be set to 24. So all we have to do, set that to 24, drop that in our assembler that has all the rubber in it, and then yeah, and then we'll put the recipe in. So assembling machine. Well, I don't know which one it is, though. That's the thing. Let me pop back here real quick. Okay, it's this one right here. And this one is going to have our cables in it. So basically, whenever you're setting these up, if you have like circuits, like I've got a lot of things that run off fluids that don't need a circuit. Like most of the things, yeah, everything uses glass. So I can double up by having liquid craft and circuit craft in the same assembling machine. It's not going to interfere with each other unless you have something that's a liquid craft that requires a certain circuit. That would be the only situation where that would happen. So I need to get these automated so it can do the printed stuff. That's something I'm just kind of I'm still automating a bit, but one step at a time. And this getting into AE2, it's not expensive. I mean, there's some things that are expensive, like the nether stars, but I mean, those crystals go really, really far, you know, making the interfaces. So it's not very expensive once you get into it, and it totally changes the pack. Basically, I just have to automate a bunch more cables, and then that'll be good. And we'll have the cable automation side of things. And the automating these things, I'm not going to do this on camera because it's that, you know. And this can be ran through the one that has the rubber in it. So I basically just have to tell it MV electric motor, copper cable, through the rubber assembler makes conveyor module. And then this right here is crafted like this, and it knows how to make these things. All it didn't know how to make is that. I just need to make a forge hammer and set it up. And then the pump is, you know, these things. That's going to be one more extruder. And then I need an assembler that's dedicated to molten bronze. And then set that up, and there we go. Which I'll need a advanced assembling machine, but that's fine. But the other thing I want to do this episode, because I need more interfaces, and I can't make more interfaces because I can't make conversion monitors without those little things that I can never remember, annihilation and formation cores. And so what I want to do, I don't want to spend a bunch of gallium and have to process a whole bunch of gallium to make, you know, because it's an entire piece of gallium for one core. And so I would need 2 gallium per interface, which is just, it's too much. So we are going to start into a little bit of a very, very little bit of blood magic. We're going to be hitting blood magic heavily here soon. But what I want to get is I want to get a demon crucible, and I want to get a demon crystallizer. And this is kind of the very bare bones thing you need to start into wheel crystals. Now, later on we're going to be fully automating wheel, but this will be good for now. We could have done this sooner, but we had a lot on our plate last episode, so I didn't want to get into that just yet. But we've been at this point where we could do this for a while. So I need a cauldron, lapis diamond, and stone. And this method will use a little bit of wheel for us to make our wheel crystals, but later on we'll have it fully automatic wheel farm. You know, I've done it a bunch. So, but this is actually the method. I actually explained this to Severe. It's been a bit back, but he was asking about it, like the cheapest possible way that you can start into wheel crystals. And this is the way. Normally you just bypass it because you've got everything. That's one of the next things on our agenda is after we get power sorted, we're going to be overhauling storage with AE2. So. But I don't want to go too crazy with AE2 beyond what I necessarily need, because I don't want to fight power consumption is really the main thing holding me back there. So, okay, so I can do it through this. Configuration 7. I love this, by the way. Just, hey, give me 7 iron plates, and there we go. It's running. Awesome. Okay, so I'll throw that in there, and is that not right? What am I missing? Or do I need a better assembler? No, 4 EU per tick, configuration 7, iron plates. Oh, duh. There we go. It's always the little things. Okay, so let's drop in all of this stuff and our Tartaric gem and get that running. And that's just going to take a second. There we go. And you can see it consumed. I think it's 100 wheel with a minimum of so much. Yeah, minimum of 400. It drains 100, and this one drains 100 and minimum 500. So okay, so our demon crucible, let's just set this up. We need to check our chunk boundaries for this. And I'll tell you what, for right now I'm going to keep it close to the AE system, I think. Just because we'll be here a lot. So I'm going to set it there. And then I need to get a crystallizer. Honestly, it doesn't hurt to have a couple of these if you're doing this method, but one is fine. I haven't done it in this pack. I actually haven't done it through this method in a while. But Severe said it was pretty fast, actually. So we may not need an extra crystallizer. And then I just need another Hellfire Forge. So the Hellfire Forge is like this. Which I got this, I moved this out of the way and just set it up over here for now. Okay, so there's 9 of those. I'm going to dump these into the compressor, get these compressing. And then we need mana steel plates, we need the living rock slab, and the seared bricks. Oh, I've actually got 2 wither skulls in here too. Haha, I got enough for 2 withers. Okay, I've got seared stone there. I know I have like all this stuff, it's just finding it is the worst part. Oh, I've got living rock here. I'm just going to make some slabs. Because I haven't found the ones. Let's throw that into there. And the mana steel, do we actually use this for much? Because if so, I might just automate it. Mana pylons, a speed charm, corporea. No, okay. And this pack isn't really built for corporea, I don't think. I mean, you could, I guess, but... okay, this is done. I'm going to go ahead and grab that. Now I'm going to throw this into the bending machine. Get our living rock slabs. And then what we want is the Hellfire Forge. Okay, and I just need a chisel. I don't think I can do this, can I? No. And I'm assuming that I can use the Apprentice Blood Orb, I hope, for this. If not, I'll have to figure out what I did with my weak blood orb. Oh, man. Okay. It doesn't allow us to use all the different orbs. Oh, actually, I think I know where it's at, though. Yeah, right here. Awesome. So, there's our Hellfire Forge. Okay. So, now I can go get this crafted up. And it's going to cut down on our wheel a little bit, but that's fine. We need to upgrade this, actually. What does it take to upgrade Demonic Slate? Okay, so once we get back into Blood Magic, we'll get that knocked out. But okay, so there's our Demon Crystallizer. Oh, and there's a quest for it, apparently. And we get 32 Simple Power Catalysts from that. Yeah, and then now we're going to start getting into Wheel. Oh, there's actually... Yeah, it talks about basically sustainable wheel, which we're going to get into that later. It's one of my favorite things. I love wheel. This was like one of the best additions ever to Blood Magic. When it was first added, it was kind of weird. It was like, what? What's this all about? But what we're going to do is we're going to take our wheel gem, we're going to drop it into there. And it's going to drain a little bit of the wheel out of here. If you recall, we should have had, what, 824, and now we're down to 724, which should be about right because the chunk can hold 100 wheel. And if we were to make, I can't remember the name of it, but I'll know it whenever I see it. It's the, right here, the Demon Wheel Aura Gauge. We can make one of these and we'll be able to see the wheel in the chunk. I'll probably make one whenever we get our first wheel crystal made. Yeah, right there. There's a Demon Wheel Crystal Cluster. And we can just break that. And boom, quest completed, raw Infernal Wheel. And the nice thing is we can just throw this in here and we can just let it sit for a while. And what's going to happen is it's going to make a crystal, but it's going to get all these like little nodes off of it. So you can harvest it and get like 5 crystals. So if you have like multiple crystallizers set up, you know, you could go AFK or log off if it's on a server or something like that. And you could come back and maybe have, you know, 15, 20 crystals. So, but it's gonna, it seems like it's working pretty quick. So the main thing is just make sure you don't run out of wheel in this because, I mean, nothing bad's gonna happen, but, and I mean, our sword has looting 5, so we actually generate wheel pretty quick into this, but I'm actually going to grab that. I'm probably going to go ahead and top it off before it gets low, because the more wheel that you have in there, the faster that you build wheel up in it whenever you kill stuff, so I like to kind of keep it close to topped off, but I'm not going to worry about making the aura gauge right now, because I have bigger fish to fry, so to speak, and actually... I would like to get 2 of these. Yeah. Perfect. Throw that in there for right now. Okay, so let's pop over here. Let's get ourselves redstone dust and it's this one. Yeah, lapis dust. And we'll pop over to the phytogenic insulator. Toss that in, toss that in. That's going to start running. Oh, it's actually a bit faster. If I recall, I think it was pretty slow when we were doing it yesterday. Or, well, whenever that episode was for you guys. But whenever you run this stuff, there's, I think it's a 25% chance. Oh, I need to actually set this back to output. There we go. 25% chance that you're going to get 3 crystal shards in addition to getting the crystal cluster. Yeah, see, we just got it right there. So, but then these crystal clusters, we should be able to set these down and break them. And there we go. We got 3 crystal shards from that one. And we got 3 from that one. So you're going to get 3 shards with a 25% chance to get 3 more shards. I'm not for sure if fortune has any impact on it or not. I'm not 100% sure on that. So I think it's just 3 always, but this pick has fortune 2, but I need to actually get a pick with fortune 3. We'll make some new tools soon. Now that we have AE2, it's like, it feels like everything's like so much easier because, you know, like I can just automate all the parts that we need for our power system. Oh no, I got 4 that time. So fortune probably does have an impact. So maybe getting fortune 3 would be a good idea on that. But let's see, it's drained. It's drained a little bit of wheel. I should probably go out and fill it up. And this is going to continue running because basically the wheel gets up to 100 wheel in it, and every time it makes a crystal cluster, I think it takes 50 if I recall. So there'll be wheel in here to run and try to build those little spires coming off of it. So I'm going to go out and I'm going to build up a little bit of wheel in here, and then we'll come back here in a minute, and hopefully there'll be some more spires on that, so you guys can see that. But I'm actually just going to pop over here to the dungeon. That's usually one of the best places to go farm wheel. Because you'll fill up your Tartark gem. Well, actually, there's laser creeper super robots from outer space. So I guess I could battle these. And probably get a decent amount of wheel off of those. Okay, you can see that this one has 2 spires coming off of it. I'm going to go ahead and break those off. And I did fill this up. There we go. And let me grab a little bit of this lapis dust. I'm going to be making this stuff for a while after this episode ends. I'm going to be working on this stuff for a little bit. But I'm probably going to make some more crystallizers because they're not that bad. I'm just going to make a bunch of demon metal, and I've already got the living rock slabs. I may need to make some more. Well, what all do I need to make? Mana steel, cheap. Seared bricks, cheap. Demon metal, cheap. Living rock slabs. Living rock itself, since it takes that light concrete, it's really not expensive, but it's, I guess, involved. But we've got some, so I can make a few more of these. But we are going to be just automating wheels soon, which means we're going to have infinite of it, which means we'll probably just set it up so we always have red crystal shards and blue crystal shards on hand, and, you know, large amounts of them. So that's kind of my plan anyways. So there's that. There we go, there's 10. Because this stuff is actually super easy to automate. We just have to get into, wow, we got 5 off of that one. I think fortune would be a good thing if we get, I need to go through my tools and see if I have any good, you know, like fortune 5 or 6 or something picks or something. But something I wanted to look at, the red crystal clusters are not used for anything aside from decorating, because they actually look pretty cool. But okay, so we've got those, we've got that. Okay, and then we need to run this through a precision laser engraver with a skystone lens. Perfect. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and just teach it how to make these. So, annihilation core. There's how you make that. Formation core. There's how you make that. And let's go ahead and just order 1. Order 1. Boom, there we go. And boom, there we go. Okay, and that means I can get another conversion monitor. There we go. I need to automate all this stuff, but I will. Priorities and all that. Just automating conversion monitors wouldn't save me all that much time in the grand scheme of things. So, I'm going to have to go kill some more withers here soon, but I am building up skulls. And I've actually got, I think, 3 or 4 nether stars, so it won't be too much longer and I'll have a bunch more of these energized polyethylene blah, 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 crystals. Those things. Okay, so we got another interface, so yay. And yeah, we can pretty much just leave that in there and let it keep running this, but I do need to get this automated. After we do power, that's going to be one of our top priorities. So it's not our top priority right now because I can get by without it, especially if I make maybe 5 crystallizers and, you know, and do a lot of wheel farming. But okay, so we got another interface, so we can automate another machine. Oh, you know what? It's the advanced mixer, not the basic mixer. Right? To make the fluix, I've got it set up on the basic mixer. Well, that's fine. Luckily, I've got an interface. Oh, and I need to plug up the forge hammer. That's what. That's the machine I need to do. I need to make a forge hammer real quick, and that'll be our basic machine that we set up. So we'll just move our pattern to there. Okay, so I'm going to get some copper cables, and I've got an advanced steam turbine in here, so we'll just switch these out. I still have to plug up the item conduits. I'll do that just whenever. Okay, so what do we need to make a forge hammer? I would probably just make, let me see something here. If I did like one of the small aluminum gears, yeah, that's 60 per tick, so we could run that through pretty much anything. The LV forge hammer, we are going to need an anvil, an LV machine hull, an LV electric piston, and advanced circuit parts, basically. So what do I need? What would I need to order a batch of advanced circuit parts? 4 central processing units. Well, I've got 2 integrated processors in here still. I need to go through that. There's a bunch of stuff in there that needs to get moved over to here, since we're using this a lot. I've got wafers. I've just got to see. We need to get all these automated. CPU wafers are glass lens or whatever. I've got a diamond lens. I've got another precision laser engraver, so I need to get that one running. But I'm going to just switch this out for a minute, run these through, and then I've just got to cut it. So, yeah. I'll be back. I'm not even going to run that many. I'm just going to run 1 for right now. And I should go ahead and teach it this recipe for making the casing for the LV machines. And this will just go in the this one here. So assembling be the same one with the MV machine casings. And then LV machine hull, and then we'll teach it this recipe. Which this is made in just any assembler. So there's that. And then we'll teach it this recipe. Sorry to make the assembler one. I forgot where I was at, I guess. And we'll drop this into there. So now it knows how to make the LV machine hull. And I'm going to go ahead and just order one of these. And I don't have 10 cables. I'll tell you what. Let's go ahead and automate 10 cables. I've actually got some over there, I think, but I'm just going to go ahead and do this because it needs to be done. There we go. And now we should be able to order that. Oh, we're missing 10. Of course we are. Okay, I don't think there's anything else that could go wrong at this point. Let me switch this back out. And then I'm going to cut for a minute. I'm going to get that stuff crafted up for the forge hammer, and we'll get that set up real quick. So we'll go ahead and order that, and you see some machines are running. There's an LV machine casing. Boom. And I saw a wire mill was running, and then that's making cables at the moment, our 10 cables that we need. And then here in a second we should, there we go. There's our LV machine hole. Okay, so I will be back in a minute. I'm going to get the basic forge hammer made. I've got to order like an LV electric piston, which I'm not sure. I know I'm going to be missing small steel gear and a steel rod. It should know how to make steel rods, I thought. Yeah, it knows how to make steel rods. Or it should know how to make them. Let's see, what's it trying to do? Oh, it got the Volps library steel rods. We're just going to fix this. Because it wants to fight me at every turn, so there. And that should be fixed because it knows how to make those steel rods. So now if I order the piston, there we go. Now it can craft it all. And I can see wires being crafted out. We don't have crafting co-processing units, so it can't do a lot of different crafts at the same time. Now it's making the wires that we need. But once we get crafting co-processing units, it's going to be able to handle a lot more stuff at once. But there's magnetic iron rod, cables. Okay, but I'll be back here in a minute. I've got to craft an anvil and stuff, so I'll be back. Okay, I want to bring you guys in because I'm about to order, for the first time, about to order advanced circuit parts. I automated this, but I hadn't actually had to order it yet. But and of course, these are going to craft 4 at a time, and this is our LV. This is our replacement LV circuit because we're not using the integrated logic circuits and stuff anymore. So there we go. Awesome. Okay, so now I can get the forge hammer, and we'll just get the LV one. It'll be fine. So there we go, and we'll just plug that guy up right there. And then let me go ahead and actually just click there. Oh, looks like the mixer can't. Oh, there it goes. And let me grab these because I need to go ahead and plug this stuff up. Extract, extract. And for right now, because it's going to go down through here, I'm going to go ahead and run the cables. But since I don't have an input, I'm going to put the interface down probably right in here actually, because it'll be easier to move the cable. But for right now, I'm just going to pump it right up into there, so it can insert here. Extract's always active. Extract's always active. Okay, and then we can automate. Now we can automate our small gears. So if we take a look at our pistons, that was the big thing that was needing these. This one here we can make in the forge hammer. Let's try this again. That. Boom. That. Boom. And then that. Boom. Okay. And yeah, I think that's the cheapest method. I mean, because that's an ingot, that's an ingot, that's an ingot across the board, and it's actually cheaper on power and speed and everything to use it, to do it through the forge hammer than it is to, even though it has an extra processing step, it's still cheaper and faster. So we'll dump that stuff into there, and now we can actually order pistons at the click of a button. And that means that, because that's, I think, getting these automated in the circuits. We've got the LV and the MV circuits automated, albeit not completely automated because we still have to handle fluids and stuff like that. And I've got to automate a couple other things for the MV circuits that we didn't automate last episode. But that's automated, and that's automated. These other three, like I talked about, these actually don't require any new machine. That we could just make a recipe, and that's automated. that we just have to teach you how to make rubber sheets. So the cutting saw, I need to plug up a compressor, but I've already got one made, so that's not a big deal. And the electric pump is just that. I'm going to need another extruder for that, but yeah. So I'm going to get that stuff made up between episodes, so we'll be able to just order LV, MV, and HV, I guess, yeah, because I've got some stainless in here, if I recall. If not, it's over there in the storage, but I think I moved it. Okay, I didn't move it over here, but I need to do that because that way we can access it. Yeah, I've got 76 stainless, so we should be good. And I was actually looking, we could technically start into EV if we wanted to. I'm not going to just yet. I want to focus on a bit of AE2 work for a while, and Blood Magic, and Astral Sorcery, and Thaumcraft, and all that stuff. Yeah, look at that. Aha! I can make some interfaces. I got 6 Demon Wheel crystals. And this is, yeah, that's still got a bit. So I'll probably make another 6 and then go out and charge it back up. So, but 6 should be enough to at least make one interface. So, but yeah, it gets better. It gets better. Better and better and better. So one more interface and I can automate the compressor, or not the compressor, but the yeah, the compressor and 2 interfaces, and I can automate another extruder down here. So compressor, extruder right there. That'll be the next things that get automated, and then we'll have all the LV, HV, MV stuff here automated, and then we'll probably I'll have to see. I mean, I know I've got enough of this stuff. The stainless, yeah, I could actually order this and we could finish out that quest, because the 40 electric motors wouldn't be all that bad. So we might do that next episode, and we get a bunch of stainless back in return, so that wouldn't be bad. But yeah, we'll probably order that next episode. I want to do it on camera so we can just click and then let it craft away. So and I've got to automate gold cable and some little things like that. But yeah, so anyways, I'm going to end out this episode here. Next episode, we're going to start turning our attention towards power overhaul. We're at the point now with AE2 where I'm pretty happy. Making things is getting way, way easier. Like, so much easier. It's not a time sink. I mean, even when things were easy to craft, it was still a time sink to craft them usually. Now it's the time sink is gone. And I mean, like I've said before, resources in this pack aren't really that much of a concern as long as you don't mind mining. You can mine up thousands of resources in, 10 minutes just down there mining. So, that's not a big concern for us. It's basically the time aspect of things and the grindiness aspect of things, which we've pretty much starting to make obsolete. So we can order diesel generators now at the click of a button. So awesome. Or more or less. I've still got to do some circuit stuff, but yeah, so anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, as always, be sure and hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe if you're not already to stay updated with when new videos come out. And I hope to see you guys next time. So until then, as always, do take care, stay safe. I'll see you guys then.